So this whole thing, we've all seen this going on over the last basically 12 years, 14 years now, starting back in the Obama administration. It started a little before that. When I got out in 2005, they were starting to become more tolerant of homosexuality in the military, even though they still had the don't ask, don't tell policy.
Yes.
It was blunted by then.
Well, let's be honest. When I was in the battalion, there was a couple of rainbow huggers.
Rainbow Rangers?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we all pretty much knew it, but I didn't give a shit. They showed up. They did their fucking job. They didn't flaunt it around. Yeah. I could care less. I really could.
Yeah. I knew one.
Yeah. I could care less.
Yep.
As long as you know I'm not on the frippin' menu. I am not that guy.
Exactly.
Don't play that with me.
Yeah. The one that I knew showed up, did the mission, passed his PT test, and was squared away.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
That's right. You show up, do your job, shut the hell up, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Regiment Ranger by day, Rump Ranger by night.
Hey, look, man.
That's fine.
I'm just saying that we knew that was going on.
Yes,
and
that's correct.
Even back in the day, I didn't give a shit. Now, when I first came in, I remember sitting down with the recruiter, and he's just like, "All right, let's just get this LOA. You suck dick. You take it in the pooper." I'm like, "What?
What?"
He goes, "I have to ask you those."
Yeah.
So I take it as a no. I'm like, "Fuck yeah, you better put no on there. I'll kill you." He goes, "You can't come in if you say yes."
I don't remember how my recruiter phrased that question. I think it was just, "Are you gay?" I was like,
"What? What? Do I look gay?" Somebody's going to get their teeth rearranged.
What an odd question to ask.
Yeah, but the thing is we have seen the slow erosion of our fighting forces. We've seen the corruption of our law enforcement communities being turned against us. If you think that the military will never fire on civilians, I got another thing for you.
Yeah.
Most of those guys who took their oath seriously have been driven out of the military, and you're getting a bunch of undisciplined rabble in there.
That's what the jab was.
Yes.
Colonel Murray, that we had on the show the other night, talked about that extensively on his show.
Correct.
That was part of the effort to remove any of the actual American soldiers from the military.
Yes. Anyone with a backbone.
Yeah. Anyone with backbone, anyone with anything resembling actual patriotism or sense of duty.
Yep.
Or discipline or integrity. It was an effort to remove everybody from that. So going back to the issue at hand of the dollar store Frankenstein monster trend that we have going on in the country.
Oh my God.
The American Psychiatric Association produces the DSM. And I've known about this for some time.
Is it up on the screen so we can see it?
It is up on the screen. Can we hit the button? There we go. Thank you. We appreciate that.
There we go.
I first encountered it way back in the early 90s when I worked at Borders Bookstore for the discount because I like books. I do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the DSM was an important manual. You had to have it if you were in certain schools like psychology, psychiatry, etc. So it was a big seller, and it's like a $200 book in 1991. So I don't know what it goes for now, but it is the defining manual for what constitutes a mental disorder, what constitutes mental illness, what things are just quirks, etc., so on and so forth. It's like the Bible of that whole world.
Let's just be honest here. Everyone out there watching this train wreck going on in the real world knows something is wrong. All right. Now, if you believe you are something that you're not, it's called a delusion.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. If you think you're a cat, you're living in a delusional world. If you think you're Napoleon, you're living in a delusional world. And I'm very disappointed. And I think bigger parties were at play here when they actually monkeyed with the official definitions of mental illnesses to take that one, conveniently take that one out.
The whole thing dates all the way back to 1932 Columbia University when a guy named Herbert Marcuse from the Frankfurt School started getting into our academic programs. And in the 1970s, the early 1970s, he's the one that basically underpinned the feminist movement because women didn't have power in academia yet.
Mm-hmm.
So he did it for them. And at that point, that's when things started to change. And one of our viewers mentions here, he has the DSM says that they had homosexuality removed as a mental disorder.
Yep.
In the 70s. That would have been under Herbert Marcuse. I've read quite a bit of that stuff there, but this here, the dollar store Frankenstein thing, no longer a mental disorder in the APA as of 2012.
Yep.
Well, gosh, that's a strangely coincidental year.
I was just going to say that. Isn't that the same year they got rid of the propaganda clause and some of the laws that...
You mean the one that says the United States government could use propaganda as a weapon against the citizens of the United States?
Yeah.
Which it had been doing the whole time anyway.
Yes, they have.
Like everybody doesn't know that. It's so they changed it to gender dysphoria, which means emotional stress related to gender identity. Gender identity disorder has been listed as a mental disorder since the third edition of the DSM more than 20 years ago. So here's how a lot of this works. Do you remember being a little kid?
Yes, of course.
Do you remember imagining you were a knight chasing dragons or some variation
yeah.
of that? Kids have imaginations.
Yes.
There are some little boys who think it's funny to dress up like a girl and be goofy. It happens.
Yes, it does.
It just happens. Or worse, you have older sisters who dress you up like a little girl and take pictures of it.
That's worse. Yes. It never happened to me, but you?
Yeah, unfortunately, I had two older sisters who thought that was very funny. When I was like 3, I found a picture of me in a dress. I'm like, what
did you do?
What? Anyway, it didn't stick. Here's my point. Kids have imaginations, and all of these things have been used by the regime that now basically controls our country to tell these kids that, no, it's not your imagination. You really are a cat, dog, lizard person, cross-dressing, homosexual dollar store Frankenstein.
Correct.
You really are. It's not your imagination at all. And if anybody tells you otherwise, you tell them they've hurt your feelings.
Because the universe cares about that.
I care about that.
Yeah, I don't.
How many fucks do you have for that?
I believe I've expended exactly no fucks, no dams, or give a shits. Sorry.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, life is very tough. I mean, I literally can't break off anymore, give a fucks, dams, or shits for any of this craziness.
Yeah, absolutely. Changing this to emotional stress related to gender identity is the cheapest damn cop-out for anything that I've ever seen in my life, but the havoc it has wreaked.
But think about this.
How many suicides have we read about related to this?
Well, 40% of them commit suicide prior to the operation and after the operation. So it makes no difference. This gender affirming care does not care, and it's not affirming. It's mutilation of a perfectly good functional body.
Yes.
And listen, we've covered this before with Blake on several shows. I believe the number is 80 to 90% of these individuals who have gender dysphoria actually come to their senses roughly somewhere between 16 and 22, 23. And a lot of them just go, I'm gay, which is fine. Be gay all you want, whatever.
I don't care. I don't care if you're gay.
I got it. But the thing is, you're literally warping the entire culture, skewing the laws for your feelings, because you want to have a metaphysical argument saying you were born in the wrong body, which, as I recall, we're supposed to, separate church and state. So you're trying to get the government to pass laws based on a metaphysical argument because of feelings. That sounds so logical to me. Yeah, no.
Yeah, the level of stupidity that's behind that. Most of the cross-dressers that I know, you're a cross-dresser, I'm sorry, it's just what it is. Most of the cross-dressers that I know are emotionally feeble.
Mm-hmm.
They have no spine and everything offends them. That's an emotional issue. That's a mental issue with you.
That's right.
Look, if you want to wear a dress to the bar, go ahead. I don't care. But this passing of laws that we have to accept you for who you are is Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. What are you going to do? Write me an appearance ticket for not acknowledging my children's imaginary friends? I mean, shut up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. And they want to actually.
Thought of that. I had a bunch of imaginary friends when I was
little. And they want us to change how we've been using our language since we were born and educated.
Basically, since the language existed.
Yeah. Now, listen, everyone knows I'm a dyslexicist. If you think that I'm going to be able to change pronouns because of your feelings, I won't even remember your goddamn name. You think I'm going to remember your pronouns? Literally, you're going to say, it'll be blah, 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 wah, 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 and I'll just go on and give you a crazy nickname, like One-Eyed Madam's Apple. Or, I don't know what I'm talking about, beefcake sandwich or something like that.
The ones that actually do the mutilation, and I've mentioned this before, I say it a lot online, and I don't care. If you mutilate your body surgically and then use chemicals to further mutilate your body, you have not gone from a man to a woman or a woman to a man. You've mutilated yourself.
Mm-hmm. You're somewhere in between.
And that's where I get the phrase dollar store Frankenstein, because Frankenstein did a better job, frankly. He put a whole dude together.
Well, he did have an abnormal brain.
He did have. You brought me an abnormal brain?
Abby
something. Abby normal. You brought me an abnormal brain. One of the best movie scenes. It's a fantastic movie scene.
Great movie reference.
Yeah, I will not now break into putting on the Ritz, although I am tempted. Anyway, you're a dollar store Frankenstein monster. You've mutilated yourself. That's
Correct.
all you've done. You haven't turned yourself into a woman or a man.
And here's the sad part is we are going to have a huge amount of individuals who have either started the transition or been through the surgery who are going to regret it.
It's already happening.
Great. It's already, I know, but the thing is our media, which is controlled by 6 corporations, which I'm sure you can trace back to a couple billionaires and or China, they're not allowing those stories out because quite literally this whole trans thing, it's the new lobotomy.
Yeah.
And that the lobotomy was popular for 15 years?
Back in the early 1900s?
No,
wasn't it?
No, it was in the 40s to 60s.
Was it the 40s to the 60s?
It was
for those of you out there who don't know, people were willingly going and getting lobotomies because it helped them calm down. Yeah. Well, yeah, you just severed a chunk of your brain.
Yeah, what they do is they literally go in around the eyeball.
Yes.
Smash an ice pick into your thinking meat, and then like, oh, you're cured.
Yes.
Nah, not so much.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.